Resident Evil 3 has always been seen as the black sheep of the first 3 PS1 trilogy titles, and that can probably be chalked up to the idea that it was originally developed as a spin-off title. Now we know now that Resident Evil 3 didn't start as Resident Evil 3, it was like 2.5 or something, and then later on some things happened behind the scenes. They had to change it up. It didn't have cutscenes in it. It didn't have the same kind of production value as the first 2 titles. So somewhere along the line, Capcom's gone, listen, it's not good enough. It's now got the 3 on it. It needs to be on par with 1 and 2. But it wasn't like any of those experimental ideas were going to get scrapped. We've got things here that weren't in those first 2 games that really gives Resident Evil 3 its identity. Here's the thing with Resident Evil 3, I played the least out of the original trilogy. That includes Code Veronica as well, to be honest. Those first 4 games, I played the least. And honestly, it all comes down to some of its best qualities. Some of those qualities can really put a damper on what I use these games for. You see, when I play these classic Resident Evil games, they're so routine, they're so structured. I know them inside and out. I know what they're gonna do. I know where the enemies are. I know what the puzzle solutions are. I know them inside and out. First 2 titles, especially 1 and 2, they're like comfort food. I use them when I don't know what to play, and I'm just away, I'm zoned out, I'm comfortable. But Resident Evil 3 has a lot of things that keep its tension high at all times. And in all honesty, every time I revisit it, it's getting dangerously higher on my favorite Resident Evil lists. Listen, here's the thing with Resident Evil 3. Every time you play it, you don't know what it's going to do. You don't know if your Magnum or your grenade launcher is going to be in the RPD locker. You don't know if zombies are going to be in whatever area. You don't know if it's going to be dogs this time, crows, spiders, numerous other mutants in it. You just don't know what it's going to do. You don't know where Nemesis is going to pop up. Yeah, he's sort of scripted, but he's not really. He can be pretty random at times where you think he's not going to turn up, or you think he's going to turn up. He's not there. You open the door and he's in the opposite room, so it can be a bit awkward. But that's the thing with this. It keeps the tension super high, and that is a real good thing when we're talking specifically horror video games. Now sure, I can't use Resident Evil 3 in the same context as those first 2 titles, but when I want a truly tense survival horror experience, I can rely on Resident Evil 3. And here's the thing with Resident Evil 3 too, it really turned the action up to 11. There's more enemies on screen, there's more of them. Jill has perfect control. The only thing Jill is missing is something that was added in Deadly Silence, and that is the quick knife. You can't hold L1 and pull a knife out. I would have loved that. The fact that that was added in the DS title of Resident Evil 1, that is just such a lifesaver. And obviously it was introduced with Resident Evil 4, but bringing it into that, and then if we could have got DS versions of 2 and 3, Resident Evil 3's control would have been legendary. Free movement on the stairs, quick turn. The fact that you can hold a button, run towards the door, and it will just automatically interact with the door. No longer do you have to keep mashing the button and it clicks the door. She automatically interacts with it. The auto aim is slick. The dodge, the quick dodge, while I can't get it to work half the time, when it does work, it feels cool. Jill will get in like cool positions when she's firing her weapons. It just oozes cool, it oozes terror, and Resident Evil 3 is seriously iconic. While Jill wasn't introduced with Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I feel like this is when she came into her own. She became a character, she became a fan favorite. Yes, people liked her in that original game, but let's be honest here, the things that you liked about Jill in that original game was 1, her iconic look, the uniform she wears, and number 2, she was easy mode. In this one, she's got a personality, the way she talks to characters, she's had enough of them, she's more battle-hardened, she's just a much better, well-rounded character here, with some personality this time, instead of being damsel in distress, relying on Barry to save her at every single corner. She's much more useful, she knows what she's doing, she's way more capable. This is Jill Valentine, and this is the Jill Valentine we all grew to love. I feel like the voice acting, while it's still kind of stilted in the same realm as like Resident Evil 2, the original, it's nowhere near as bad as 1. It's not as memorable as 1, obviously, and some of the lines definitely aren't like the best lines in the franchise, but you've still got good characters here. Carlos can be a bit awkward when you first meet him, but by the time you get to the end of the game, he grows on you. He's cool enough. Nikolai's cool. Mikhail was cool. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, the fact that one of the best characters of all time was introduced here, and Shuri's only ever been in this game. And it's Nemesis. Yes, Nemesis, the villain of the game, the stalker enemy, the first Resident Evil stalker enemy. He's legendary. He looks cool. He sounds cool. He's the poster boy, and the fact that he was only utilized for this game. Yes, he's in the remake. Yes, he's not as good. He sucks. Yes, he's been put in things like Umbrella Chronicles, or was it Dark Side Chronicles? I'm pretty sure it was Umbrella Chronicles. And he's in like, I guess he's in Gun Survivor 2 as well, awkwardly enough. And he's in Operation Raccoon City. But let's be real, the Nemesis that's in Resident Evil 3 is the Nemesis. The soundtrack really is superb. Now, I don't think it's as good as 1 and 2. The reason I say that is, when Resident Evil 3 has a good soundtrack playing, it's really good, like top tier, top of the line, stands with the best of them. But then there's just some areas in the game where it's just kind of like, does that even have a soundtrack? And then you get in there and it plays the music and you're like, I guess it does. It just isn't memorable. It's not like the RPD or the mansion. It's not like when you go into the basement of the RPD, you know what that sounds like. But with Resident Evil 3, sure, you know the save theme, but do you know much else? This is the thing with the soundtrack. It's good, it's great. It's just in comparison to 1 and 2 and Veronica, it just doesn't stand toe-to-toe with those games. So all in all, every time I revisit Resident Evil 3, I love it more and more. And one of these days, I'm going to play it and it's just going to click on unseen levels. I'm just going to be like, you know what? When it comes to classic Resident Evil, this is the best one. It fumbles some things, but its replayability is through the roof. And it's replayability that I absolutely love in video games. I love to replay my games, and if it doesn't have replayability, I knock points off. And Resident Evil 3 has it in spades. You've got decision making, you've got randomizing, you've even got the Mercenaries. This is the first time Mercenaries was introduced. Now, Mercenaries doesn't perform like it does in the greatness that is Resident Evil 4. It's not that kind of Mercenaries, it's not that good, but it's still a nice bonus. Playing through the game, choosing whether you want to take on Nemesis or run away from him. The fact that if you do take him on and you do beat him, he drops weapon parts to make new weapons. Let me just tell you, every playthrough without fail, I always at least kill Nemesis twice. I want the handgun parts because that Eagle 5.0 handgun, just get rid of the Beretta. That Eagle handgun is so damn good. I don't want to use the terrible little Beretta you get at the start of the game, little stars Beretta. No one wants that. We want that gun that Nemesis drops. So every time without fail, I'll take him out at least twice. But keep doing it. You get a different gun and a weird shotgun. It's just, what an iconic game. What a great game. It's a superb classic Resident Evil title. It's a superb video game in general. It's a highlight of the franchise. Honestly, I can't say enough good things about Resident Evil 3, and like I said, if I just keep playing it more and more, the more I revisit it, the more I learn the puzzle solutions, because like I said, the changing, the randomizing nature of it makes me not want to revisit it as much, but that's also its strength. But I feel like if I do revisit enough, I'll memorize every single one of those codes that it possibly can be. I'll memorize the solutions to the puzzles, and I'll be able to do them without thinking about them. Resident Evil 3 is absolutely superb, and what a way to round out a trilogy of games on the PlayStation 1. It shouldn't be seen as the black sheep. Yes, it's a little bit different, and you can see that in what it does. It's a little bit more linear. But here's the thing, Resident Evil 3 stands on its own 2 feet, has its own style, and it's just as good as 1 and 2. Anyway, that's all I've got on Resident Evil 3. If you like Resident Evil 3, let me know down below. If you've played it before, how you compare it to the remake. That will be interesting to hear. But if you're new here, subscribe. That's all I got, people. I'll catch you later.
Stars.